Today we're building not one, not two, but three dummy 13 figures. But we're not just going to build them, we're also going to compare them with the other dummies from my collection. And we'll even upgrade these figures a little bit. So leave a like in advance. Get comfortable and let's get started. The first figure is this one. On the preview, it looked amazing. A female dummy 13 with really cool wings. But right away we have a familiar problem. The belly is loose. And if you watched my previous dummy 13 videos, you already know this happens pretty often. The belly wobbles on some of my other figures too. Alright, let's start building and bring out our favorite tools. Honestly, this part has become kind of meditative for me. At first, I didn't enjoy cutting parts out of the frames at all, but now I somehow find it satisfying. After that, we just need to clean everything up a little. And it's always nice to work with well-made parts, especially molded ones like these with almost no flaws. With some of the previous figures, I had to spend a lot of extra time with a file, but this one is made much better, so it definitely gets a big plus for quality. Unfortunately, not every figure in today's video will be this good. The instructions also show some kind of dragon snake creature, but sadly my set doesn't include all those parts. I only got the tail, so let's build it. And right here, I'm going to make a small mistake, but we'll come back to that later. I used the wrong part in the tail, and this will confuse me again during the build. The tail turned out really cool and fun. I actually liked it a lot. Honestly, building the full dragon would probably have been awesome, but sadly my set doesn't include it. The figure itself moves really well. Everything is made nicely, and I have no complaints here. It feels just like the best molded dummy 13 figures I've built before. The ones I eventually rated as the highest quality versions. Oh yeah. And the ones I would recommend buying instead of the printed. So this little ball piece goes into the figure's back. And then the tail attaches to it. And that's the female figure we get so far. Now let's move on and build the wings. And this is where I suddenly realized that I couldn't find one of the parts. Turns out, I had accidentally used it in the tail. So be careful when reading the instructions because it is really not obvious there that a different part, with a ball on the end, should go into the tail. And here's the final female figure with wings and a tail. Honestly, I can't even tell if she's supposed to be an angel or a devil. She looks angelic, but also kind of terrifying. This figure is definitely one of the best ones. And now let's move on to our next devilish figure. And honestly, this one really earned that title, especially when it came to the build quality. But it wasn't all bad. For example, right away we can see that this cape is absolutely amazing. It is one of the best quality capes I've ever seen. It's a unique part that I haven't had before, and it is made really well. The sword is also interesting because it looks good from both sides. Very often, printed parts only look good from one side, but not this time. The head is absolutely insane, with a really cool silver color. But the whole figure comes in frames, and that can potentially be a problem. And I'll say this right away, it will be a problem. The set also comes with this scythe, with a little rotating ball inside. And honestly, I really like the accessories. The weapons are printed nicely and made really well. But now let's look at the figure itself. And this is where things get disappointing, because the final figure turns out pretty terrible. Which is honestly surprising, because the weapons look great, the accessories are gorgeous, the head is amazing, and the cape is unique and cool. But the body itself is printed really badly. There were a lot of plastic blobs, and I had to clean this figure almost as much as one of my very first dummy 13 figures. The one that eventually turned into a whole series where I made a custom Spider-Man dummy. So yeah, there was a lot of cleanup here. I had to remove a bunch of extra plastic, and unfortunately, that wasn't the only problem. The build itself also gave me trouble. Let's speed this part up a little. At first, everything looks pretty standard, but then I started noticing that the parts fit into the joints way too loosely. Basically, they don't grip properly. You can already see here that the torso doesn't hold together well. The set includes a simple standard dummy head, but it also comes with this gorgeous unique one. And this head actually fits the figure beautifully.
Nice.
But again, while building, I kept noticing that the parts just didn't sit tightly in the joints. The legs, for example, kept going in badly and falling off again and again. And here we go again. It broke off. Okay, let's keep building. I didn't include a lot of the cleanup process in the video, but believe me, this figure took more work than usual.
No.
The guns though, honestly I don't know what happened here because they are made beautifully.
Yeah.
And now we have this shiny, luxurious cape. Let's put it on. It attaches to the hole in the back like this. And honestly, I really like it. Let's also put the sword into the figure's hand. I do have one complaint about the sword design though. The guard rests against the hand, so the wrist can't move properly like this. Other than that, it looks great. The scythe, on the other hand, is gorgeous. The pelvis fell off again. It happened several times today. So at this point, I really wanted to upgrade this figure. First, I tried rounding off the joint, but unfortunately, that didn't help. I could have heated the plastic with a lighter or squeezed it somehow to make it grip the ball better. But I got lazy and decided to take the easiest route, upgrade it by using a finished figure from my collection. So let's quickly move on to the upgrades. First, I wanted to use this Dummy 13, one of our best sets. It came with 6 figures in one box. They are all molded, so there are no joint problems, and the figure itself looks really good. The head fits perfectly, but the cape doesn't. Turns out these specific figures don't have a hole in the back or in the pelvis, so there is nowhere to attach the cape. Then I found another molded figure, this time black and purple. It has holes in both the back and the pelvis, so the cape attaches beautifully. Let's put the silver head onto this purple figure. But no, now we have a different problem. The head doesn't fit, so these parts are not as interchangeable as I hoped, which is a real shame. That's honestly sad. Maybe I shouldn't even show all these struggles. Write in the comments if you find this interesting. Okay, let's try one more thing and replace the chest panel on the black dummy with the chest panel from the purple one. But again, no, they are made differently and the chest panels don't fit either. I actually spent a lot of time trying to combine different Dummy 13 figures, but nothing really worked. And then I remembered that we already had something similar in the previous video when I struggled with swapping parts on this silver dummy. It's one of the coolest and most interesting figures, but replacing anything on it is almost impossible. At this point, I decided to give up on rebuilding this Grim Reaper figure with a molded dummy, and I used the best quality printed one instead. And yes, surprisingly, printed figures can be good too. This one from today is falling apart completely. But the red one from the previous video holds together perfectly and has all the holes we need. So let's give him the new head, the cape, and the scythe.
Ta-da! Nice.
And now we finally get a magnificent figure. Luxurious, cool, and really unique. Let's quickly compare this scythe with the one from another set. At first glance, they actually look pretty similar. On the right, we have this gorgeous eye that looks a bit like the eye of Sauron. On the left, we have a rotating ball. Honestly, I like the eye even more, but if we flip the scythes over, it turns out that one of them is double-sided, while the other only looks amazing from one side.
Dun, 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 dun.
So which scythe do you like more? Even though I personally like the eye more, I think I'll choose the one with the ball, simply because it looks good from both sides. Now let's take a look at our final figure, and now I actually like it. Unfortunately, the Dummy 13 body that came in this set is not great, but with my other body everything looks amazing and now the figure is much more playable too. And now let's move on to the third and final figure. I really like this one because of its gorgeous color. Honestly, I fell in love with this color right away. It is printed, but the print quality is actually pretty good. Although, look, the head fell off. Of course, this is not a huge problem, but I would still like the head to fit more tightly. Maybe if I file this part down a little, it will work like on the other figures. Look here for comparison. On another figure, nothing gets in the way, and the head moves perfectly. But here, if you apply just a little too much force, the head falls off. So let me quickly file the plastic a bit and attach the head again. It did get better, but if you use too much force, it still falls off. Let's say it's not a major problem. The head does hold, and to make it fall off, you really need to push it hard. These are the perfectly printed hands and weapons that come with the set. There are no blobs of extra plastic at all, so no cleanup is needed here. And then my cat came over to help with the build. Clearly he got very interested in what I had been doing for so long. Well, thank you for the support. I definitely couldn't have done it without him. And now for some reason, he has decided to take over the entire workspace and said, "Come on, pet me. No more working." So let's take a short break. I'll pet the cat and then we'll come back to our figure. The build itself is wonderful, with no problems at all. It's actually a very simple figure, but the color is super memorable and interesting. The only thing I had to do was clean up the swords just a tiny bit, so they would fit nicely into the sheaths. The set also includes these holsters, which we've already seen on other figures. I decided not to use them this time and instead just finish the build and show you the final result. So today we ended up with 3 unique figures. 2 of them are absolutely amazing, and the third one needed quite a big upgrade before it could become a real masterpiece. Subscribe to the channel and leave a like. It really helps a lot. Thank you all so much for watching. Bye.